What can you tell me about sleep paralysis?
Sleep paralysis is when you can't move or speak right when you're falling asleep or waking up. It can feel really scary, but it's not harmful and usually lasts just a few minutes. This happens because your body and mind aren't quite in sync during REM sleep, which is when you dream. Have you experienced it yourself?
Several times, and yeah, it's very jarring to the point of frightening. But I wanted to know, what do you think? Do you think it's purely scientific?
I can see why you'd say frightening. And yes, most scientists today view it firmly within the realm of biology. It's essentially a glitch during sleep cycles where your brain and body don't quite wake up together. While some cultures have developed other interpretations over time, science points to a physical explanation. Why do you ask? Were you thinking about other possibilities?
Not necessarily other possibilities, but mainly collective stories that document these experiences. Why does it seem like there is always an entity if it's purely scientific?
That's a great point. The feeling of an entity during sleep paralysis is really common, even frighteningly so. Philosophers and scientists have suggested it might be your brain trying to make sense of the paralysis. When you can't move, your mind races, and that panic can morph into a perceived threat nearby. Also,
Okay.
Continue.
cultural stories play a big role too. If you've heard about a shadow person or some creature causing this, your mind might fill in the blanks with that image during the experience, making it feel even more real. It's like a mix of physical sensation and your mind's attempt to explain it based on what you know.
But the first time I experienced it, I didn't know what it was. And I was a child. I wasn't primed with anything, but I still saw an entity.
That does make a difference. Even as a child without those stories, your brain can still produce hallucinations during sleep paralysis. Yeah?
Yeah, continue.
Right. So even as a child, your brain can still produce hallucinations during sleep paralysis because it's a mixed state between sleep and wakefulness. Panic, like being frightened, could be your mind making sense of being stuck. That feeling of a presence is thought to be your brain's misinterpretation of your own body's reduced movement. Sometimes it just happens without any priming beforehand. Your experience isn't unusual in that sense, even if it was really jarring.
But why is it always an evil entity? Why not some uh, cosmic angel or something more light? But this is a dark entity. Everybody experiences a dark entity, or most people experience a dark entity, whether it you can fully see it or you can feel it. It is a dark presence, and most stories actually document like an old woman or an old hag, which is very strange.
That's a really perceptive question. The prevailing thought is that when you wake up paralyzed, your brain's fear center, the amygdala, is already active. Because it perceives itself as vulnerable, it automatically creates a threat to explain the intense fear it's feeling. Since darkness and shadows are naturally scary for people, your mind often projects a dark, shadowy figure rather than something light. And the specific image of an old hag is a fascinating collective story that's been passed down to describe this feeling of a weight on your chest. Is there anything else about your experience or those stories that stands out to you?
No, I just find it odd that most people have the same experiences and happen to just see almost the same figure. And it's not always shadowy. Sometimes it's a full presence that you can see a body and a face, and people can describe these things in details. And when you compare stories, it doesn't feel random. And but I understand how scientific it is.
You're right. It's definitely striking how consistent those descriptions can be, suggesting there's something fundamental about how our brains process that state. Some researchers believe it might be linked to how our mind interprets the signals from our body, and if your panic is really high, it might manifest as a fully formed figure rather than just a vague shadow. It's like your brain is trying to tell a story to explain the fear, and the figure becomes incredibly detailed as a result. I hear you. It makes complete sense why that would feel really uncanny to you.
Well, thank you. That will be all for today.
You're very welcome. I'm glad I could help provide some perspective. Feel free to reach out if you ever want to discuss this further or have other questions. Have a good one.
Sure.